Welcome to Language Pathways. Today, we're delving into strategies for effective English learning. To start, Dr. Alvarez, can you explain why English is considered so indispensable in our interconnected world?
Absolutely. English serves as the global lingua franca, underpinning business, science, technology, and travel. Over 1.5 billion people use it, and 80% of online content is in English, making it a gateway to countless opportunities.
So, it's not just about communication, but also about accessing information and career growth. How does this widespread use impact the urgency for learners to master English?
It broadens horizons in both personal and professional spheres. Whether you're aiming for international collaboration or simply enjoying global media, English proficiency removes barriers and fosters cross-cultural connections.
Now, let's transition to the foundation of any learning journey: setting clear goals. Many learners say, I want to be fluent, but that's vague. What does effective goal setting look like in language learning?
Effective goals are SMART specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of aiming for fluency, set a goal like learn 50 new words this month or introduce myself confidently within 2 weeks.
Interesting. It sounds like breaking down the process prevents overwhelm. Are there psychological benefits to this approach?
Absolutely. Achieving small milestones boosts motivation and builds momentum. A 2020 study from the University of Michigan found that learners with clear, incremental goals were 60% more likely to persist long-term.
With goals in place, let's discuss the 4 pillars: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Why is it vital to balance all these skills rather than focusing on just one or two?
Each skill supports the others. For example, listening enhances pronunciation and vocabulary, while reading models correct grammar for writing. Neglecting any one area creates gaps that can stall overall progress.
Could you offer an analogy for our listeners?
Think of language like a table with 4 legs. If one leg is weak, the table wobbles. Mastery requires regular practice in all 4 areas to ensure stability and confidence.
Let's zero in on listening. Many learners listen to English, music, or podcasts, but progress is slow. What's the difference between active and passive listening?
Passive listening is like background noise. You might miss crucial details. Active listening involves pausing to mimic pronunciation, jotting down new phrases, or even shadowing speakers. This engages the brain at a deeper level.
Are there studies supporting the effectiveness of active listening?
Certainly. A 2018 Cambridge study showed learners who used active listening techniques improved comprehension skills 30% faster than those who only listened passively.
Speaking is often the most intimidating skill, especially for adults. How can learners overcome the fear of making mistakes when speaking English?
Mistakes are stepping stones, not roadblocks. Even native speakers slip up. Practicing alone, like narrating your daily routine or joining supportive clubs, can lower anxiety. The key is to view errors as learning opportunities.
That's reassuring. Could you share a hypothetical scenario for someone practicing solo?
Imagine talking to yourself in English while cooking. Now I'm chopping onions. This builds fluency and confidence before interacting with others.
Moving on to reading, many learners find it tedious or overwhelming. What's the best way to approach English reading materials for growth?
Start simple graded readers or children's books, then gradually advance. Reading exposes you to natural sentence structures and idioms. For example, news articles reinforce formal grammar, while blogs show conversational tone.
Does reading also help with writing?
Absolutely. Exposure to diverse texts enhances vocabulary and models effective writing techniques. It's like training your brain to recognize and replicate good language use.
Let's discuss writing, often overlooked in self-study. Why is regular writing practice essential for language development?
Writing allows you to organize your thoughts and apply what you've learned. Keeping an English journal, composing emails, or posting on forums helps turn passive knowledge into active skill.
How should learners seek feedback to improve their writing?
Use online platforms like LangCorrect or find pen pals willing to review your work. Feedback highlights errors and fosters continual improvement, much like a coach guiding an athlete.
Let's transition to immersion. Living in an English-speaking country isn't possible for everyone, so how can learners replicate immersion at home?
Change your devices to English, label household items, and consume media without relying on subtitles. These small shifts surround you with English, allowing your brain to absorb patterns naturally, just like children do.
Does thinking in English also play a part?
Definitely. Translating in your head slows communication. Practicing direct thinking in English speeds up fluency and builds automatic recall.
Now, vocabulary. Why does memorizing long word lists often fail, and what alternatives are more effective?
Isolated words are easily forgotten. Learning phrases in context like catch a cold instead of just cold boosts retention. Spaced repetition apps like Anki use algorithms to review words right before you forget them, cementing them in memory.
Can you give a real-world example of contextual learning?
Sure. Instead of memorizing library, study, and quiet separately, learn. She studies quietly in the library every evening. This mirrors real communication and deepens understanding.
Grammar can be overwhelming for many. Is it necessary to memorize every rule, or is there a more natural way to master grammar?
Memorizing every rule isn't practical. Observing patterns through reading and listening, then applying them in speaking or writing, is far more effective. Short grammar lessons, followed by use-like writing about your last weekend solidify knowledge.
Are there techniques to prevent grammar from becoming a stumbling block?
Focus on communication first. If you make a tense mistake but convey your meaning, that's progress. Gradual correction over time leads to natural accuracy.
Technology has revolutionized language learning. How can learners leverage modern apps and platforms for tailored English practice?
Apps like Duolingo and Babbel offer gamified lessons, while HelloTalk connects you with native speakers for real chat. Platforms like BBC Learning English provide structured lessons. Mixing these tools personalizes your journey and boosts retention.
Is there evidence that digital tools outperform traditional classrooms?
A 2022 Stanford study found learners using interactive apps improved vocabulary twice as quickly as those relying solely on textbooks. Engagement and instant feedback play key roles in this success.
Let's talk about consistency. Why is daily, short practice more effective than long, infrequent study sessions?
Learning is like watering a plant a little every day helps it grow. Micro-learning, or short, focused lessons, keeps the brain engaged and strengthens memory. Reviewing vocabulary on the bus or listening to a podcast in short bursts is highly effective.
How can busy people integrate English into their routines?
Identify small pockets of time during commutes, lunch breaks, or before bed. Even 10-20 minutes daily can lead to steady improvement over months.
Mistakes often cause embarrassment. How can learners shift their mindset to view errors as valuable learning experiences?
Mistakes signal areas for growth. A supportive environment like friendly tutors or online groups encourages risk-taking without fear. Research shows learners who embrace errors improve 40% faster than perfectionists who avoid speaking.
Is there a practical way to track and learn from mistakes?
Keep a mistake journal. Write down recurring errors and their corrections. Reflecting on them transforms weaknesses into strengths.
Motivation can wane over time. What strategies help learners stay inspired throughout their English journey?
Connect English to your passions, watch favorite YouTubers, follow topics you love, or join communities. Celebrate small wins, like understanding a movie without subtitles. These positive experiences sustain long-term motivation.
How important is community support in this process?
Crucial. Sharing progress and setbacks with others normalizes struggles and multiplies encouragement, making the journey more enjoyable and persistent.
Finally, let's consider using English for real-life purposes. How does connecting language learning to personal interests enhance success?
When English serves a purpose like following recipes, gaming, or exploring photography transforms from a chore to a tool. Engagement rises and learning happens almost effortlessly because it's meaningful and relevant to daily life.
Can you give an example of a learner who succeeded this way?
Certainly, a student passionate about soccer joined English fan forums. His vocabulary, confidence, and even writing improved rapidly, all while enjoying his hobby.
To wrap up, we've covered goal setting, core skills, immersion, vocabulary, grammar, tech, consistency, mindset, motivation, and purpose. What's your key advice for learners aiming for lasting English proficiency?
Combine strategies that suit your lifestyle. Stay patient, and persistent progress comes in layers, not leaps. Remember, learning is a marathon, not a sprint. With the right mindset and toolkit, anyone can achieve true English fluency.
Thank you, Dr. Alvarez, for your insights and encouragement. For our listeners, remember, every step counts. Stay curious, stay consistent, and English will open new worlds for you.